Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. It's Phil and Rye back on Listen Up and Rye. This is your number one source for UConn Huskies women's basketball Listen Up podcast, home of the 12-time national champions. Not 11 anymore. That drought was getting big. I know you think it was, but look, how's that sound, Ryan? Music to the ears. Home of the 12-time national champions. And we thank everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday, Ryan. April the 9th. Man, time is flying. April 9th, before you know it, a new season on the way. But for now, we're going to talk about something that I didn't really want to talk about, even though she rode out into the sunset, like you told me. Life after Paige Bueckers in UConn, in Connecticut. What's it going to be like? Comment away. Tell us what you think. Ryan, I think it's very important, though, to make sure that you note she had that torn ACL, the tibial plateau fracture and meniscus tear, the ankle surgery, and the minor knee injury. So, all of these injuries, and yet she still came back and played at such a high level. I think my concern is, and again, UConn is stacked like always. What's new? I think my number one concern is once they reach March without her, let's see who can really be the leader and take over. And it's not all about scoring, but sometimes it is. Let's see who can score them 30 to 40 points if necessary.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I mean, before we talk about Paige leaving, I just wanted to kind of talk about the legacy that she left behind and before she officially leaves in about 5 days now before the draft starts. But I mean, it started all the way back her freshman year when she was freshman and player of the year. And in the middle, like you mentioned, had to battle through some injuries, a lot of obstacles in the way. She came back in 2023 and had the second most points in a season for UConn. And obviously this year becoming a national championship, finally getting it done, winning that 12th one for UConn, but also ending her career with the highest average points per game as a Husky and third all time on the scoring list for UConn, which is pretty impressive given all the names, legendary names on that list. And not to mention her banner is hanging up in Gamble in the Huskies of Honor. So the name Paige Bueckers is cemented into UConn history among all the other great players that step foot in the stores. And she will go down as one of the best to ever wear a UConn jersey. But on the sad note of not having Paige back next season, I honestly think this team will be just fine. I talked about a little on Tuesday. AZ and Sarah will presumably be the leaders of the team. AZ will be in her fifth and final season. Sarah Strong had one of the best seasons by a freshman since Paige Bueckers in 21. But it doesn't stop there. We have Caroline Ducharme. It will also be her fifth and final season, I believe, at UConn, and hopefully she can be back fully healthy for the new season. KK Arnold, Ashlyn Shade will be juniors, and Ice Brady as well will all be juniors. All players capable of starting and having huge impacts for this team. Jenna L. Alfie, Morgan Shelley, Ali Zabel, all second-year players who are hoping to continue to develop. And I think Jana could be in for a huge season next year. She performed great in that national championship game, had a couple of great games through that tournament. So I'm excited to see her next year. And for the new recruits as well, we already have Kellis Fisher and Gandhi Malou Mamel coming to stores. So I think this team is set up just fine for the future. And always, I think the future here in stores looks pretty bright.
Yeah, you said it right, and I appreciate everything you actually highlighting Paige Bueckers as she arrived to UConn. And I like this a lot. In this article that you sent me, Ryan, at the end, it says, Added Lobo, quote, when you get to the other side and look back, you realize sort of the perfection of it all. How many players end their career with a victory? Very few. It's just sort of the incredible culmination of everything, the explanation exclamation mark on everything that you've done. End quote. And that again comes from Lobo. Ryan, Again, I think it's very important to tell a story. Everybody has a story, and even if Paige Bueckers would have, I don't think they did, but even if they would have went a perfect what 39-0, 49-0, or 40-0, whatever. If you have an undefeated season, I like how in this article, I think it was Sue Bird brought up, there's still challenges that are in your way all the time. There's still stuff to overcome. So you see that perfect record and you're like, oh, everything's fine and this and that. And like they mentioned, not a lot of players, Ryan, get to cut down the net and go out and win their very last college game. And we all know what that means.
Yeah, and it's obviously a special moment. And there's so many things during the season, whether you lose 5 or 10 games or all the ranked games like they had those 3 ranked losses this year, or whether you go undefeated like previous UConn teams had, there's always going to be plenty of obstacles in the way for your team to overcome. And that's why Gino has become such a great coach, and all the assistants around them over the years, preparing these ladies for all those obstacles and everything that you can face during the season. And I think by tournament time, we always see it every year that the UConn is usually the team with the most experience, just because they're prepared so much throughout the whole season, and know what to expect and how to handle all of that pressure.
All right, Ryan, you're going to love this. They came through very well in that last video. Let's jump over to comments for Ryan. Jason said Olivia Miles jumped to TCU. Shocker for real. That means that Olivia was in secret talks to make that switch for a while. Something bad happened over there at Notre Dame. Shame. There is only one person in the universe that can get me to be a fan of a Dallas team. I have my credit card ready to purchase everything, Paige, including tickets for when she plays the Liberty. I'm so happy for her and us. UConn Nation was given a gift, and it is amazing. Even though I lost faith against UCLA. Peace.
Yeah, well said. It's gonna be fun to watch Paige in the W, that's for sure. But yeah, already a couple players committing to other teams in the portal. I believe South Carolina just got a pretty big pickup. I'm not forget what team that lady came from, but South Carolina already jumping in the portal, and it is a shame about Notre Dame. I talked about them for a little bit. I've been pretty high on them. They definitely had the talent to do it, but they also had to battle a lot of injuries as well. They couldn't quite put it all together. But yeah, it is a shame for Notre Dame. They certainly had a lot of talent, but just couldn't get it done.
Here we go again, Ryan. We have to call out every name on the roster. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We have to do it nowadays. Apex goes, how come you guys don't mention Sweet Caroline Ducharme? When sweetness is 100%, look out. Whoa.
Yeah, that's why I made sure to mention her today, because it's she's definitely the most interesting player on this roster. She's arguably had to battle the most. I'm not really sure what to call her injury, because it's something that is different for every player when you're dealing with a head and neck injury like she had to. And I saw an article where last year it was hard for her to even sit on the bench and watch these games during the tournament, and for her to be there this season and be able to play at the end of the regular season, played a couple games in the tournament at the end there. So it was great to see her back out there scoring a couple buckets, and like I said, hopefully she continues to work all off season and can clean those injuries up, and hopefully she's back healthy and ready to go.
Charles Mitchell, we love you too. He says you should feel privileged to have that champion introduce your podcast. So I'm going to leave a word out because he wasn't that nice, Ryan, and Ryan wouldn't like it either. So keep it clean. I don't want to steal Ing Raven's not logo, but slogan. But hey, keep it clean. He said, Ryan, you should feel privileged to have that champion introduce your podcast. Oh, we feel privileged. Don't worry about that. Let's go over one more, Ryan. Donna said, who puts out the rankings this early? Really? UCLA? They're They was whipped, the worst out of all the teams. So stupid. Well, hey, Ryan and I has been around long enough, not really, Ryan, but we know how winners get treated. I tell you, it comes. I didn't know that, right? When I was young, I think you're just starting to learn. Even though winning is nice, it comes with a great price.
Yeah, I mean it happens in every sport with all the great teams and coaches. So you know we're used to it now at UConn. And I'm sure you know you guys that have been around longer for us and have been watching UConn and following the team for longer are well used to that now with UConn being disrespected and so on and so forth. So you know we're not worried about a dumb you know ranking here at UConn. All that matters is if we're raising that trophy at the end of the year. That's all that matters.
How about one more to cap it off, Ryan? I like this one a lot. Just Me said, Phil and Ryan, thanks again for your podcast. I enjoyed every show during the season. I enjoyed reading all the great comments on every show by all the Listen Up subscribers. And what a fantastic way to finish the season.
Yeah, thank you. We definitely appreciate all of you guys commenting, liking, subscribing throughout the season and you know continuing to come through for all those videos. We certainly enjoyed it too. It's always a fun ride no matter what the end result is, but luckily this year we finally got the result we all wanted to see and we're hoping for. So hoping to continue that momentum into the off season and there's certainly plenty more videos to come throughout this long off season.
No, for sure. And the next one comes on Saturday, Ryan, as we break down the now sophomore coming in, and she's right behind you. Hint, hint, how she is going to impact the 25-26 team and what role she will play. I'm expecting big, big things. Phil and Ryan on Listen Up.